Massive, 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 massive news late last week. We find out on Friday afternoon that Rico Verhoeven, the king of kickboxing, the man who was the face of Glory Kickboxing for, I would say, about 12 years or so, who has this unbelievable streak. He's done it all. He's fought them all. He's won it all. We know late last year, we find out in November, he left Glory. He vacated that title. He was on to greener pastures. Rumors of a potential deal on the table with the UFC. Rumors of a potential deal to fight Anthony Joshua. And then we find out on Friday that it's going to be neither. It's going to be Rico Verhoeven versus Oleksandr Usyk for the WBC title in Egypt, in front of the pyramids of Giza, of all places, on May 23rd on DAZN. And so I have a million questions for the one and only Rico Verhoeven, and he is kind enough to join us right here and now. Can't wait to talk to him. Rico, my man, how are you? Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, brother. Good to be back.
Oh, it's great. It's great to have you here. We have so much exciting things to talk about, but I would be remiss, Rico. I understand you recently suffered a loss in your family, and so I just want to send my condolences to you and your family, and I hope that you're doing well, all things considered.
Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate that.
Okay, so my best to you and your family, of course. I would love to. I've been wanting to talk to you. You can ask your guy Kareem. I've been wanting to talk to you for several months. I've been bothering him every couple of weeks. So I would love to start in November. All of a sudden, we get the statement: you're leaving Glory. You're vacating the title effective immediately. How did we get to that? Why did we get to that point? What happened?
Yeah, well, what happened is just like we did it all. We did everything, and I did my last fight at Glory 100, well, within the contract. And yeah, we just started to look around and see what options were out there. So I just wanted to do, or I still want to do, like big stuff that hasn't been done before. So either make like a crazy crossover to the UFC or a big crossover fight in boxing or whatever. Like, yeah, just wanted to see all options. So that's what happened. So that's where the decision came from like, I think, yeah, we did it all within Glory.
Okay, you had conquered the mountain multiple times. You fought them all. You beat them all. I can understand the desire to want something new. And so shortly thereafter, we start to hear, at least for me, the order was, all right, I remember finding out that you left on my way to the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua press conference. And I remember hearing, hey, if AJ gets by Jake, there's a deal on the table for AJ to fight Rico in February. Was that true? Was there something on the table for you to fight Anthony Joshua in February in Saudi Arabia?
That was 100% true. That was 100% true. So it actually started off somewhere in August, and I went to the International Fight Week in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I remember you were on our show. We spoke to you.
Yeah, we were there. We talked. So we were there, and then started talking to the UFC as well, and also talking to to His Excellency about like maybe doing something crazy. Oh, well, it came a little after that, because the cool thing was I was like 1.5 years ago. I was at the Usyk Tyson Fury fight, and my good friend Jason Statham was there. So we were talking, and yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, man, this is the place to be. This is where you gotta be." It's like, let's do it, So I think he slowly like introduced me there, and he was also present when I did like the crazy tournament, Glory, and I beat up 3 guys in one night. So that was it was so cool. And then actually later that month, so after the international, so it was like about a year later, the Canelo Crawford fight was coming up, and I saw Jason was there. So I texted him, "Yo, bro, you at the fight? Oh my God, have fun." So he's like, "Yeah, I'm crazy excited. I can't wait for it." So I said, like, "Yo, we talked about it. I said we should do something." He's like, "Yep, I'm gonna bring it up." Okay. So that was
September.
Saturday night.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, yeah, somewhere there, September, August, and that was like nighttime in Amsterdam. So the next morning, I'm on the treadmill, and so the fight just happened. I said, "Oh my God, what a fight! It was crazy." He said, "Yeah, it was amazing." And then he called me. Jason calls me. I was on on the treadmill running. He's like, "Yo, Rico, yo." I said, "I talked to His Excellency," and he was like down. He says, "Let's do it." Like, what does that mean? He's like, "We're gonna do it." Okay. So he said, I gave his team your number. They're gonna reach out and we're gonna talk about it. So that's what happened, and that's what they said. Like, hey, when you come in, you're a champion. So we gotta face somebody with a name, and you gotta promise us that you're not gonna disappoint. You're not gonna be out in one round. So what do you mean? I've been boxing like for the last 15 years on the highest level. I got this. It's like, okay, so we got like whoever you want. Said, I don't care. You tell me who you want me to fight. So like, what about Anthony Joshua? So let's go. I got it. So that's how it came to work.
Was
And
there
how it came.
was there ever any talk of you and Francis?
No, no, there was not.
Okay. Now, Jason Statham is an unbelievable friend. The fact that he put in a good word for you is pretty remarkable.
100%.
Around that time, though, I had also heard that there were talks with the UFC and that the UFC had put forth an offer for you to fight Derek Lewis on the first Paramount Plus card.
That's correct.
So what ultimately happened there? The UFC was interested. You were interested. How did it go? How was the offer?
It was decent. It was a decent offer, but like I said, like you just like put the two next to each other, and like a big crossover fight versus Anthony Joshua, um, with also like a serious paycheck as well, or a crossover to the UFC, which is different. Like it's in Derek Lewis is an amazing fighter. He's a good name within the UFC, but doesn't get that like that stature that I'm looking for. Like I don't know. It was a good coming in fight for transitioning to the UFC, but I was like, nah, let's 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 go for the Anthony Joshua fight. So that's what happened.
I'm assuming the boxing match against Anthony Joshua was great money. They pay everyone very well. I'm assuming that was better than the UFC offer.
100%.
Was the UFC offer comparable to what you were making in Glory?
Yeah, it was getting close.
Getting close, okay. Because I had heard that as well, that it was a respectable offer, but that the AJ offer was much better.
100%. So, like I said, it was a decent offer. It wasn't like I see so many stuff on the internet,
Yeah, yeah.
but that is definitely not true. Like, oh, the UFC just came in, like, oh, Rico is a no name, so we just give him like a bullshit offer. They definitely did not do that. They treated me with a lot of respect and gave me a really decent offer, especially in terms from what they offer other fighters. So I really felt that, but yeah, like I said, within the sport of just like martial arts in general, and within what I made within Glory, yeah, we're just like doesn't make too much sense for me.
Obviously, late December, after the Jake Paul fight, Anthony gets into that car accident, and his fighting future is up in the air. At that point, what happens? Because now it starts to seem like he's not going to be fighting anytime soon. So how do you proceed?
Yeah, so what happened was the fight was like in the air. We were talking about it. I was actually on set on the movie Roadhouse, and finally it came through while I was shooting the movie. And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool!" But let's get to training. So I was already training while I was on set. So every time I had the time to get off, I was like in the gym putting in the work. And then finished the movie beginning of December, went straight into camp, coming back straight into camp, and worked out through the whole of December, and then already planned a training camp in Spain for the whole month of January because the fight was going to be the 14th of February. And then the accident happens. But everything was planned already. So even though the accident happened, I still went to Spain for the whole training camp. So we did that. It was a great experience because we didn't know what was gonna happen, but I knew something was gonna happen, but we just didn't know when. And for me, it was just like another experience that I put in my backpack. Like, yo, we're gonna do it, so it's gonna happen anyway, somewhere down the line. So it's just another experience for me in boxing. So that's what we did, and that's how we continued. And we were just like waiting for like a little bit of news, but we knew, of course, Anthony Joshua had to go through this whole process, physically and I think more importantly, mentally.
So then how do we go from that to Usyk?
That's quite interesting, actually. So what happened was we got on the phone and we heard like, hey, the fight might happen, but AJ just needs some time to recover physically and mentally. Okay, so probably somewhere in March we'll hear more about it. Okay, no worries. Totally understand. Totally respect this whole situation. So we left that. I was still in Spain. So we came to the gym, and actually, my trainer, my boxing trainer, Peter Fury, said like, "Hey, I was thinking, what about fighting Oleksandr Usyk?" Like, yeah, what about it? Like, yeah, why not? Isn't that an option? Like, I love the idea, but I don't know if that's an option. Let me check. So there was, I think, like a few days after the call we had, and I called them up. I said, like, I have an idea, or me and the team we have an idea. I just wanted to check with you. Like, I've been undisputed champion for the last 12 years within my discipline. And Oleksandr Usyk has been the undisputed champion in cruiserweight and then came up and is the champion now, undefeated for a long time. So what about undisputed versus undisputed? And they said one thing. I love it.
Wow.
Okay. Let's do it. So they started talking to Alexander about the whole idea. He loved the idea. So they made it work. And now we're here.
Would it be fair to say that the idea of fighting Usyk, given who he is and his current resume, interested you more than AJ?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, the fight versus Anthony Joshua was also super exciting, but he's like a totally different fighter.
Sure.
And Oleksandr Usyk is the Rico Verhoeven in boxing.
Yeah.
So like he's been dominating for so long and in such phenomenal fashion. So I was like, wow, if we could do this, that would be like the cherry on the cake.
And so from the start, were you told that this would be for the WBC title? Because when the fight got announced, initially WBC said they would create a special belt, and then 2 days later they said, no, in fact, the belt will be on the line. What were you told?
No, they said, we want to do something, but we'll let you know like what it's going to be. If it's going to be for a title, if it's going to be for one title, if it's going to be for whatever. Like, so like, let's see. I'm okay with just like facing Usyk. And then they came like, hey, the WBC belt will be on the line because he has like a voluntary defense.
Yeah.
WBC has their I don't exactly know what they have, but they have like these certain rules or sanctions how they look at opponents if they're credible enough. So I guess the WBC looked at my credibility from a martial art standpoint as a kickboxer. And like I said, I've been dominating the sport of kickboxing, of course, for over a decade. So I guess, there was resume enough for them to sanction this as a WBC world title heavyweight title fight.
Which I have no problem with. I know some of the hardcore boxing fans are like, oh, this and that. What is your response to those people who say you shouldn't get a WBC title fight?
Totally understand. I totally understand because it's their sport. It's what they love and what they defend, of course. But I think we're in a totally different time than 5 or 10 years ago, and I think everything just keeps on developing, and it's such on a broader and bigger scale than it ever was. And especially if you look at it now, I remember the time like before we had the Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury fight. I saw a lot of like posts on social media of like, hey, boxing is dead. Boxing is not out there anymore. This, that, blah, blah. But then His Excellency came and he put up the big fight versus Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury, and all eyes were on it. And I think that's when everything within the world of boxing became back to being relevant and as big as it is today. I think it's been a long time since it's been here. And why is that? Because I think His Excellency goes right when everybody's going left. So he's just thinking outside the box. And everybody wants to keep it in that exact box. But why not go outside the box? I love the idea.
Do you have any idea why the IBF or WBA belts that he holds aren't on the line as well?
No, sir. I have no clue.
Okay. And I'm assuming it's 12 rounds, typical title fight, right?
Yeah.
Now, how did we end up in Egypt at the pyramids? How did that happen?
Well, they were talking about multiple monumental locations. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm excited. Just let me know. And then, out of the blue, they called me and they sent me a picture like, this is the location. I saw like the 3 pyramids on the background. I was like, what? Like, yep. Bro, this is freaking iconic. This is crazy. I said, I love it. Let's do it. Said like, yep, it's gonna happen. I said, okay.
And then we found out. Now, this deal that you have with them, is it just a one-fight deal or is it a multi-fight deal?
It's like they want to build up something and create like a whole thing. So we start off with this fight, but we want to do multiple fights.
The reason I ask that is because I think there's a lot of people who would still love to see you fight in MMA in the UFC against big names there. And so they were thinking, okay, you'll do this fight and then maybe you take that UFC deal. Is that now off the table because this has gone through?
We're always open to see and discuss and what happens. I think that's the beauty of this. We're not like super solid on everything, and they're also so open for other and different things. Like they're so open-minded, especially with what we saw with the Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul fight as well. They think outside the box, so they're not just like, hey, this is how we're gonna do it and this is the only way to do it. No, they're going left and right, and they're always open for debate.
Are you interested now that you're a free man and you could do all these fun things? Does the UFC, does MMA, does that get you excited, or does boxing, finishing your career as a boxer, does that get you more excited?
No, I think I'm still open to do both. But like being for me, the transition from being a kickboxer going to boxing, like I've been boxing for the last like 15 years. Like the fun thing now is like everybody's like, oh, Peter Fury is being added to Team Rico. Guys, I've been training with Peter Fury for the last 15 years. So like back in the day, just coming as a sparring partner for Tyson Fury, and just being there constantly, putting in the work and getting better, turning into from a sparring partner into a training partner. And yeah, I think that's also what one of the key elements that made me such a good kickboxer.
Yeah, and we know that you've trained with the likes of Tyson Fury as well. I've seen you spar with them. I've seen you with Caballel, obviously Tom Aspinall and his team. You've been around other martial artists from other disciplines. And since you brought that up, I talked about this yesterday on my show, and I get it. I think that there's more of a connection between MMA, the MMA community and fans, and kickboxing fans. We have a greater respect. You know, we've seen people like Alex Pereira come over, Anderson Silva, Israel Adesanya, so we understand who Glory is, what Glory is, who you are. We talk about you, all this stuff, as opposed to boxing and kickboxing. Because I have to be honest, Rico, I don't know how much you pay attention to this. I feel very upset and I feel disrespected on your behalf at the way in which people are talking about you. Who is this guy? Do you see this stuff and you get upset about it? Do you get annoyed by it?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But because it's a different perspective. So you got to look at it from a different perspective, Ariel. So what they watch is boxing, and that's what they've been watching. So they haven't been watching just martial arts in general. Because if you watch, for example, UFC, there's wrestling, there's jiu-jitsu, there's kickboxing, there's boxing, there's so much there. All elements come together with MMA. And I think definitely because it starts standing up, kickboxing is one of the most important elements within MMA. So I think that's why the connection between the two is so much closer than within boxing, because the people that watch boxing, that's what they watch, specifically just boxing. No wrestling, no kickboxing, whatever. They watch boxing. So then for them, they're like, who's this new cat in the game and trying to fight for a world title? He did one like professional boxing match like 10 years ago, and now he's fighting for a belt. It doesn't make any sense. So I understand, but like for them, I had my credentials within the sport of kickboxing. I've been dominating the sport for over 12 years. Does that make me worthy of fighting for a world title? I don't know. It's up for everybody's opinion. It's up for debate. But the WBC looked at my credentials and they were, okay with it to sanction the fight.
Do you feel like you're representing kickboxing? Do you feel like you're doing it for your community, for Glory, for everyone that maybe doesn't get the respect in the world of boxing from the world of kickboxing? Do you feel like you're Mr. Kickboxing? You're doing this for kickboxing?
I'm not just doing it for kickboxing. I'm just doing it for martial arts in general. So for me, it's just like I'm a kid with a dream. And like, Ariel, we've been talking about doing a crossover fight like multiple times already within your show as well. So, and now we're here. So how beautiful is that? It's just like, manifesting. And now finally that dream came to fruition. So how thankful am I for that? Just keep putting in the work and keep believing in that whole situation.
I love it, and I'm so happy for you. Can you tell us? You mentioned the Pure Fury stuff and all that. Are there any other names you could tell us that you'll be training with, sparring partners, people that you'll be bringing in to mimic Oleksandr Usyk?
Come on, Ariel. I can't do all the insights.
Okay.
So many insights today.
You did.
But I told you so many things that nobody knew what was going on for the last so many months, that since I've quit with Gloria and I vacated the belt. So this is the whole story that has been going on for the past months. And now finally the word is out. We're fighting Oleksandr Usyk. So let's stick to that.
Okay.
And after that, I'm gonna give you all the insights on how we approached this camp and how we won the WBC World Heavyweight Boxing title. Let's go.
Incredible. Can I ask, where will you be training for the fight?
I think primarily it will be here in the Netherlands,
Okay.
but yeah, I think we're gonna go to Egypt as well,
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
It's all different, of course.
Okay. You've probably watched a bit of tape on him. He's been virtually unbeatable in his career, right? Obviously around here, around there, but he beats everyone and he beats them twice, and he beats them better the second time around. Do you see holes in his game when you watch him?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely see some holes, but he's playing chess while everybody's playing checkers.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, to be honest, that's what I love to see. Because for me, that's how I approached kickboxing as well, and my opponents. Because I also fought like multiple um guys like 2 or 3 times, and just keep doing it and keep beating them in a better way, and becoming a better version of yourself, and staying focused and staying mentally strong and resilient. And that's exactly what he does. So yeah, it's a huge challenge, Ariel. It's a huge challenge, and I'm crazy excited about it.
Are the nerves different? You've done one night tournaments. Like I said, you fought the best, but these nerves, almost as a debutante, if you will, does it feel different because you're the massive underdog trying to shock the world this time?
No, I think I've been on the biggest stages for, like, as long as I can remember. So selling out arenas and being, fighting for thousands and thousands of fans within the arena, and millions watching at home. So within that, I'm used to the pressure of fighting. And I think the cool thing is now, like, for being the guy with the target on his back for the last decade, now the target is on somebody else's back. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good feeling. So I love to come in as the underdog. I don't mind that.
Is Jason going to be at the fight?
Oh, he guaranteed he was gonna be there. He's like, I won't miss it for nothing.
Look at you. I feel like he should walk you out. I feel like he should be a part of the entourage.
I'm not sure he's into that.
Okay.
He's like just like a chill guy, but he really loves it. He's a fanatic, a martial art fanatic. He loves it. He loves everything. All martial arts, kickboxing, MMA, boxing. He loves it all, and he supports it with his with everything he has. So it's amazing to have him in my corner and supporting me. So, and of course, with the thought of him actually being, maybe the initiator
Yeah.
of this whole situation. So super thankful for that, and a true friend.
Do you feel like you have to prove Turkey right? Like, because when Turkey did that video, he said, hey, blame it on this guy if you don't like the fight. Like, do you feel pressure to prove him right that this was a fight worth making?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. I think it's something that is not just for him, for His Excellency, or for Jason, but also just for everybody, just for the whole boxing world, because I know they have their doubts in how I'm gonna be performing during this fight, and I'm gonna be standing right across of the probably one of the best heavyweight boxers ever. And how is this kickboxer gonna look? So I feel really responsible to, look as good as possible. And that's why Peter Fury is going to be in my corner, as well as my trainer Dennis and the normal team that we have. But we got to look as good as we can. And that's why I'm so happy that I already started, training before than just like now, like, oh, I'm gonna go blank into this
Right.
fight, training for 12 weeks, and let's see what happens.
Two last quick questions. And again, thank you so much. Did you leave on good terms with Glory?
Yeah,
All good. Oh, you moved your head there.
Yeah, it was like okay, of course everybody when you leave and everything, it's like nobody's like really happy with it, but it's
Yeah.
like, hey, they have their opinion, I have my opinion about certain things, but that's life, right? It's like you agree to disagree. So I think that's where we left it. So, but I'm super happy with everything and all the opportunities Glory gave me, and yeah, now we're here. So it's also thanks to them.
Did you fight your last kickboxing match? Are you done with kickboxing?
I think yeah. I fought my last kickboxing match for Glory. Maybe we could do something crazy. For example, like Ariel. Now we're here anyway, so why not? Let's do it. So we're talking about a crazy crossover fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and everybody's like, yeah, Rico's going from kickboxing into boxing, but like I'm doing that. No, that's my decision. Let's say, and let's ask which boxer would be willing to jump into the kickboxing ring with me and do a kickboxing match. Because we're talking about crossovers and the MMA fighters are crossing over to boxing. But I haven't seen no boxers saying like, hey, I'm going to take my shoes off. I'm going to do an MMA or a boxing match or a kickboxing match with one of these guys. Let's go. Put your money where your mouth is.
I don't expect any of them to sign up to fight you because you possess weapons that they don't possess. In boxing, it works because you strip away the weapons. But if they walk into your world, you would eat them up.
Yeah, I understand, but they're so critical. Like, yeah, he's not a boxer.
Sure.
They're jumping into our world. Okay, jump in our world then. Let's try that for a change.
Well, let's see how May 23rd goes. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people weighing in before and after. I'm so excited about this. Glory in Giza, there it is. I love the play on words. Usyk versus Rico. Great poster, by the way. Tremendous poster.
I love it.
Congratulations, Rico. Love the smile on your face. Good luck to you in preparation. And perhaps we talk again right before the fight, but really appreciate you coming on and giving us the whole breakdown here. It was great.
100%. Thank you so much, Ariel, for always putting martial arts in general just always on the map. So really appreciate you and talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. There he is, the king of kickboxing, now crossing over to the world of Queensberry rules boxing, the one and only Rico Verhoeven, the pride of the Netherlands, and it's May 23rd. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.